The idea is for us to be like able to juggle 6 water bottles and still feel like it's one. We just care about what meaning will get me to the result that I want. I want to do like 7-figure business and have the lifestyle and do the other thing. What's the new meaning that I need to see in order for me to do that? I mean, today we are going to transition into an important journey because we operate in metaphors. So we will talk a little bit about metaphors and stories. And I put a tiny Word document in the WhatsApp chat because our brain cannot understand facts for facts. We talk about fake news and stuff like that these days. So our brain, what does is it processes information in such a way that it creates a story for what happened to us. So we have a metaphor for what is happening right now. We have a metaphor for what happened to us in the past. We have a metaphor for what is going to happen to us in the future. So we have that story of who we are. Collectively above that, we say, oh, this is who I am. That's a story. That's a story. That's a story. I mean, we think we are a body, we think we are a mind, we think we are a soul. Everything is a story, right? Because this is the interpretation that we have about life, about experience. The more experience that we have, listen to this, more confused we are. The thing is, whenever we have experience, what happens is experience comes with a sense of fear in it. If I'm teaching you something, when I'm teaching you something, I'm teaching you in my fascinating, beautiful, healthy apple, I'm injecting a little bit of my own poison, of my own fear, and then I'm giving it to you. So every teacher, almost every teacher who existed in this planet, when they are teaching, they have injected their tiny little fear poison into the apple. The more knowledge that you have, more confused you could actually become. So no matter how aligned they are with the soul, there is a tiny injection of their own fear in the conversation. So why is that so important? I'm not here to criticize other teachers. What I am here to say is we need to learn how to separate the wisdom from knowledge, because knowledge has fear in it. Wisdom has no fear, right? So when you are able to separate the wisdom out of the whole package that we are getting, because every time, like for example, Reese had his Facebook account shut off. And then, so we could build a story around it, like, oh my gosh, this happened, Facebook is targeting people like us, stuff like that. But it's a freaking algorithm, right? Somebody wrote an algorithm, and then that algorithm is going to do whatever it wants to do. And if we went to the wrong advisor, so I sent him to like 3 people. The first person said, no way, you're done. You cannot go on Facebook anymore. And it's done, right? I'm like, how freaked out he would be, right? His business is in significant way depending on Facebook, and all of a sudden he doesn't have a Facebook account. When to the second person, she said, okay, you could do it this way. But third person said, okay, let's modify these things and then get the Facebook account back again. And you got it up today or yesterday. And the first person that I sent is an expert who does ads for 8 figures. But I knew from the beginning, I told you, Reese, there will be a creative way.
There's going to be a level. There's somebody's going to understand this and say, no problem. And this guy just did it like nothing. It was like, oh my God.
What a perfect example for the stories that we hold on to in our own lives, for our own business. Our business is doing, $250,000, or I'm just starting out, and we are just starting out. You know what? Nothing is working for me. Nobody wants to work with me. I have an accent. So think about like me. When I started like 15 years ago, starting to help people in business, everybody said, your accent is so thick. Now it became my sexy voice. and nobody wanted to work with, everybody wanted to work with me, but I started believing the story. Like everybody said, we need to work on your accent. I don't quite understand what you're saying. I'm like, okay. And I'm a passionate guy too. People are like listening to me like, what the heck did you say? I'm talking like really fast and they don't follow. And then these guys are coming, you're not ready for this. Like, go for this accent training school where they teach Hollywood actors how to talk in an accent. and then go from there. So I went on and went on and went on for years and years trying to figure out this thing until I figured out it doesn't matter. Jesus did not know English. What a loser he was, right? He was speaking like some weird language. Oh my gosh, he didn't even know Arabic. He spoke Aramaic, right? And then Gandhi, he barely spoke English. And none of these people who became the biggest impact people in the world, like Buddha or Nabi or Christ or Krishna, none of them knew English. English did not exist at the time. So I'm like, what the heck, you know? So the thing is, like, there is a story that is keeping us where we are. I work with people who are starting their business in some of the programs, to advanced people who does $100,000, to advanced people who do millions of dollars, to people who do $80 million. Story is just the same. It's the same thing everywhere, because I'm like, I don't know what to do next. I got my business to $50 million. I don't know what to do next. That's one person. Another person is, I made my business to $10,000. I don't know what to do next. So I would like you to evaluate, write down. So there is a workbook in the WhatsApp chat. If you guys can like use that to fill that, and I would put that as a share to in the. So I have it here, and we're talking about. So I call them curse stories. The stories that hold you in your head are your biggest assets or your biggest liabilities, or both. It might be an asset and liability at the same time. So I'm going to give you a preview on like this concept of curse story. So essentially, is your story empowering you? Is helping you leap forward? Is this a story that is helping you leap forward? If that's the case, it's a blessing story. If this story is pulling you back, oh, Facebook is against me. Oh, I'm not destined to do this. Oh my gosh, it's going to take too much time. I don't know how to manage technology. It's too much thing. Then you will figure out a way to not figure out. You're so much more committed to not figuring out at that point. If you're so much committed to not figuring out, you would slow it down. And then day by day, you would continue, you are committed to not doing anything. And then when you're committed to not doing anything for 1 month, 2 months, let's say 3 months, then you become professional at not doing anything. And after some time, you'll be like, you know what? I knew this was not going to work anyway. Right? So I knew it from the beginning. Why did I try this again? Right? So is that the direction that we are going? Or are we going in the direction of a blessing story? A story that you created about yourself. Like, I'm going to do $1 million. Right? So that I know how to do that. Maybe I don't know how to do that. I'll hire right people to get that done, or I'm going to do $100,000. Most of these people are in different levels trying to get to the first million now, right? So if that's the case, then I don't know how to do that, but I'm so much committed to figuring that out, right? So what is that blessing story? So like, think about it this way, like a person who's juggling, right? So when you, like, for example, when you are like 5-year-old, you started learning A, or 2-year-old, 3-year-old, you started learning a symbol called A, and then B, and then C, and then some other letters, and then numbers. Oh my gosh, there are other symbols that are like this, 1, 2, 3, and numbers like that. So those are two different things. Now somebody said, oh my gosh, you can, like, there are some adults in the world who are so smart, they could come up with a word based on this thing, right? They could actually write one word, but there are really smarter people who can actually write sentences. Oh my gosh. And then there is Shakespeare, who could just bring in 14,000 words to come up with really poetic sentences. And all of a sudden, a person who is studying in kindergarten, like she would look at it and say, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do it. But that's how we do it, right? We learn the basics. We know how to juggle one water bottle. That's what I know, by the way. I'm really good at juggling one water bottle. So I'm going to screw up with the second one, but I would try to do it. Right? And then your mind starts saying, oh, you are really good at juggling 2 water bottles. And then you would have 3 water bottles and 4 water bottles, until for your mind, the 5 water bottle becomes 1. The Facebook, the life, the other things, because this thing, like, this is why I'm sharing. You guys are all advanced people here, right? You are all like in your own, I mean, because I know each of you guys are all advanced in your own capacity, and you have found your own strength in like some deeper level. And the idea is for us to be like able to juggle 6 water bottles and still feel like it's one. The reason why I feel these are 6 water bottles, it's because of the human experience we are having. Why are we having this human experience? There is a conditioning from the past. Oh my gosh, like, you know, I come from a Christian background, like you cannot serve God and devil at the same time, or something to the effect of that. And the interpretation that my priest gave me was that devil is money. Oh my gosh, you cannot serve money and God at the same time. So either you pick God or money, right? Those are the 2 options. Those are the 2 water bottles. Which one do you want to pick? You can pick only one. What is that? But when you get deeply connected with your soul, which most of you are deeply connected with your soul, when you're able to deeply connect with your soul in this capacity, what capacity? Being able to juggle 5 water bottles, then it becomes an expression of your soul. Even the Facebook thing that you're doing, even the lifestyle you're doing, even the training that you're doing, even the love making that you're doing, even everything that you're doing, it becomes an expression of your soul, which you do have in your own, like when you're teaching, Reese, it's an expression of your soul. But when you are doing Facebook, when it becomes an expression of your soul, that's the point. Everything is one. It's just an expression of your thing. And you know that already. I don't need to tell you, right? You already know that, right? So let's create a story for now. Like if you want to reach to, let's say, $1 million, or some of you $10 million, if you want to grow to $1 billion, depending upon where your ambition is, the next level step, whatever that is, for that step, what is the story that I wanted to, create in my mind? Another person would look at it and say, oh my gosh, okay, I have done so much. For example, Reese, I have so much experience in the offline world, and what if I could translate that into, like a kid, translate that into online world? And now all these people who don't have any experience trying to do online, I'll be so much ahead of them. If that could be a story, for example. So I'm going to play this with you here before going forward. We came up with this model. So experience is just experience. Like somebody was raped, somebody won a lottery. It's an experience. It's the same thing for the body. But the mind, it's the same thing, not for the body. But you get the idea. But the meaning, it's changed. For one experience, you associate a different meaning, a disempowering meaning, which is, I'm looking at the bottom one. And then you associate a disempowering emotion. And then you associate a disempowering context. It becomes a curse story. You guys get it so far? So you have an experience. Experience is like white. It doesn't have any kind of drama in it. Experience is experience. Sometimes it comes with drama, but experience comes with by itself. We create the drama based on our own past conditioning, based on our past thing. And then you associate a meaning, then you create emotion associated with that. I'm a victim. And then context is, why did God let this happen? And then it becomes a curse story. But there is another experience. You win a lottery. The meaning is, oh my gosh, I won the lottery. Oh my gosh, this is good. I feel emotional. I'm so lucky. And the context is, my life is beautiful. And then it becomes a blessing story. So, but humans haven't quite figured out how to play this alchemy. This is an alchemy game that we are playing. Experience is experience. You could literally bring in, for example, Lady Gaga, 3 people, since I talked about rape, Lady Gaga, Oprah, and now Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez, whatever beliefs you have. There are so many women who were who went through horrible things. But what happens is, at some point, they use that energy that was created in that experience and convert that into a blessing story. So what you need to do simply is to change the meaning. If you want to change from a curse story to a blessing story, it's very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. So the way you do is, you take a curse story and put a new meaning. Put a new meaning to it. And then when you put a new meaning to it, Okay, I have the Facebook, the other thing to handle, and I need to convert from physical to this thing. What is stopping us is the mind. Mind is like, oh no, I'm really good at a hammer. Abraham Maslow said, this is one of my favorite quote of all time. The quote is, if you're really good at hammer, you think everything is nailed. If you're really good at being a physical person doing physical training in Reese Institute, then you think everything is a nail. Everything has to be like that. And if you keep on, using nail for some time, using a hammer for, let's say, 15 years, after some time, you're like, okay, give me some more nails, God, because that's the only thing that I know. And there is no more nail in the world. You have to figure out another way to dig, figure out another way to do vertical farming or something else to get food, right? So we need to create a new emotion and a new context, and you have a blessing story. So all of us have. If you don't have one story about your business, if you're moving forward, you could do it for your personal life. So look at this curse story, the story that is limiting us, and put a new meaning to it. At least, like what else could this mean? It means that something that is empowering you, because we don't care about the actual meaning. We just care about what meaning will get me to the result that I want. I want to do like 7-figure business and have the lifestyle and do the other thing. What's the new meaning that I need to see in order for me to do that? And the weird thing is, the new meaning might be exactly opposite of what you are thinking. In Reese's case, COVID happened. That is actually helping his lifestyle.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my God, how would I get my lifestyle? But in reality, because of that, you got an excuse to go for your lifestyle. And you're getting a transition period for the next 1 year probably for you to establish your clients to work that way. And now you're like, oh my gosh, I could, what is happening here? I cannot manage this online. Now you got an opening to go with your lifestyle, traveling everywhere in the world. And you are not probably seeing it. Look at the deeper belief. The deeper belief is simply that I have to go through this struggle before I give it to somebody. That's a choice that you made. That's an agreement that you made with yourself. And you can let go of it right now. Now, if you're telling me I need to have the budget to hire somebody before I give it to somebody else, I can understand that. And I'll find you a way to find that budget too, right? That's fine. That's fair enough. That's a sustainable model. You need to have enough budget to pay for another person. Fair enough. But in order for you to budget that, there might be other things that you could do to create that budget so that you could hire the right person. So otherwise what is going to happen is next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, everything that you do, everything that you want to do, you would figure out a way, because of this story, you will figure out a way to screw it up yourself 1 or 2 or 3 times and then give it to somebody. That's a story, because the story is going to run your thing. It's a manufacturing unit. The brain has this manufacturing unit that says, oh, Reese, you haven't screwed up 3 times. Why are you hiring people now? That's your hammer. And one who's good at hammer, they think everything is nailed. I have to figure out. So same thing. Reese, it's okay. I have another client of mine who does $60 million. And he said he built a company with $60 million. His product is $1 million. So he sells 60 a year. And then he makes $60 million. And he says, I don't know how to scale. I built it all the way till here. I'm working like 18 hours. I have like high cholesterol. I'm not going to live longer if I continue doing this. I'm stressed all the time. I don't know what to do. Right. So he's like, and then I started helping him build the team. He's like, I'm scared now because I don't know if they're going to drop the ball, if they're going to screw up something, if am I hiring the right person? XYZ, 70 different questions. Why? Because he's good at hammer. He is good at playing the hammer again and again, and that became a habit. That becomes his mind's expression, not the soul's expression. The mind's expression. Mind thinks that I eat like 6 times a day. That becomes my mind's expression, because my mind thinks that I need to eat 6 times, 8 times a day and then stay really fat. right? So that's my mind's expression. The soul's expression is step out of the hammer and start using scissors. You don't cut hair using using a hammer. Anybody cut hair here using hammer? Like you just beat the hair out of your head, right? Versus you would use scissor. All go ahead and find a new meaning for this story. Find a new meaning for this story. If you don't have a meaning, just make it up. Most of the things that we do are made up anyways. So just make up a new meaning. Because do we believe like meanings about stuff that are completely irrational? Of course we do. So just come up with a completely new story. Excuse me, completely new meaning. And then generate a new emotion from it. A new emotion from it. And we are not going to go through the entire intervention here, but at least write down a new emotion from there and create a new context, because this is how your brain is saving the details as a sequence. It creates a meaning, something happens. You know, Tony Robbins talks about we are meaning-making machines. We make meanings. That's what we are. Our manufacturing unit, what it does is it makes new meaning. It makes meaning, but you change it to a new meaning. You create a new emotion, you create a new context. Like write down, like what does this really mean? Rather than like being trapped into the expression of mind, if we just zoom out and tap into the expression of your soul, what is really happening here? Rather than being conditioned by the habits and the behaviors that we do. Those are all from the mind most of the time. Let's connect with our soul and come up with this new blessing story. I look forward to seeing your actions on the chart. Bye. Thanks.